Next, we are going to make a material that has a texture in it. And this is part of your assignment for section 2. So you should do a couple of these for the assignment. So we're going to make a new material. I'm going to my content page. I'm right-clicking on it, selecting material. I'm going to call this one Texture 1 Matte. And just double-click on it to open. Okay, so once again, I am in the material editor, but I don't want a color, I want an image to attach to it. So what I'm going to do is right click and I'm going to put in the word texture, and you'll see that there's something called a texture sample. That's what I want. So I click on that. Now right now it's blank because it doesn't have anything. And I'm going to search through here. I'm not sure, I might have to import some. I'm going to see if I have any textures that might be interesting in here. Just in the default, probably not. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually import a texture. So there are some that I have prepared earlier. So I'm going to just drag this random texture into my environment. It may be blurry. I have no idea what texture this is, but this is when we're going to earn leg dots. Okay, so I'm going to click on back to my material. I'm going to click on my texture sample node, and I'm going to look for that texture that I just imported. Okay, there it is. I click it, I connect it to my base color, and there we have it. Okay, now of course I can do all the same sorts of things that I can with another kind of material. I'm going to make it really shiny maybe. There we go. Very weird looking mirror. You guys should have fun with this. You want to pick materials that are going to work with your theme and your concept and your art period. So I'm going to apply it so you guys can see. So there we go. So that is my texture that I've put on my cube, and it's repeating on each of the faces. All right, so let's make another material. And this one is in case you want to do something that's transparent. All right, so I'm going to right click, I'm going to make a new material. Open that one. I'm going to find my texture sample node. Okay, and I don't actually have this, so I'm going to import the texture. So somewhere here, I have many things. Okay, so I'm going to drag over this Flowers 3 PNG. Now this is something that I had made. It's a picture that I'd taken of some flowers. And in Photoshop, what I had done was I had subtracted out all of the background. So it looks white, but I'd actually saved it with the transparency as a PNG. So now when I look at that texture that I've just imported, it looks kind of funny, right? Because it's not subtracting out the transparency, it's just giving some kind of thing. But if I double click on it, this is what it looks like. It's pretty naturalistic. Okay. So now we're going to treat this one a little bit differently. I've got my texture sample, but I don't remember if we left click on just on a blank space on the grid, it tells us some of the basic stuff for this material, and our blend mode is opaque. Well, I want part of my texture to be transparent, to not show up. So I'm going to click on that, and you could select translucent only if you have like an alpha layer or you've done it in a PNG, but I'm going to use masked because this really is a masked image. I either want it to show up or not in the image. All right, so now I've set that to masked, and you notice that all of a sudden I have this opacity mask coming through. So now I'm going to click on my texture sample, and I'm going to find flower. That's going to be my base color. So again, because I haven't hooked it up, right, we've got all this weird stuff going on. So I have to tell it oops, it's still not doing that. Okay. So sorry. So yes, so I have to connect up this alpha channel to the opacity mask.